We are born in a world that we do not understand where we came from and what will happen after we die. It is hard for us to understand what we are here for and what is the purpose of our being. That is why people turn their interest into different religions and beliefs to find a meaning and purpose in life and suffering. And for others, they tend to find meaning in love, family, or being happy around other people. But for the nihilists, they believe that there is no meaning in life. Nihilism is the belief that all values are baseless and that nothing can be known or communicated. As we grow older and we find out new things to believe and change our old beliefs and the old beliefs doesn't make sense, we ask ourselves the question, why are we here? Why and what is the meaning of life? We get to a point where we run out of answers and we end up with nothing and hopelessness. That is where we get to nihilism. Among philosophers, Friedrich Nietzsche is most often associated with nihilism. For Nietzsche, there is no objective order or structure in the world except what we give it. As he said, every belief, every considering of something true is necessarily false, because there is simply no true world. Nihilism is often associated with extreme pessimism and radical skepticism that condemns existence. A true nihilist would believe in nothing, have no loyalties, and no purpose. That is where we get to a nihilistic paradox. A simple way of putting it is if nihilists believe in nothing, then why they believe in nihilism? And that makes a nihilistic paradox. The fear of nihilism is mostly associated with reaction to the atheism. As more individuals in developed countries give up on religion as sources of morality and meaning, there is a worry that these people will descend into immorality or hopelessness. There are several different ways of understanding nihilism. For instance, let's start with political nihilism, which is associated with the belief that the destruction of all existing political, social, and religious order is the prerequisite for any future improvement. And there is moral nihilism, also known as ethical nihilism, is the view that nothing is morally right or wrong. And last but not least, existential nihilism, most used and understood sense of the word nihilism today. It begins with the notion that the world is without meaning or purpose. Given the circumstance, existence itself, all action, suffering, and feeling is ultimately senseless and empty. That is where the question comes where people ask why the laws exist and why are we obeying them? As who sets the morals and the limits for human being, and are we really free if we are not free to do whatever we want? Nietzsche expressed this concern that an era of nihilism and atheism is ushering over us. However, as he was an atheist who opposed nihilism, argued that this is an opportunity to create a new and better morality and meaning to life. As he argued that doubting the old morality necessarily doesn't lead to chaos, rather the chance of making a new and better morality. While nihilism is often discussed in terms of extreme skepticism and relativism, for most of the 20th century it has been associated with the belief that life is meaningless. There's a big difference between skepticism and nihilism, as skepticisms may believe that we might know anything, good or evil. Nihilists believe that there is nothing to believe. Nihilism views the belief that there is no underlying meaning to life from a perspective of hope. It's not that we are doomed to live in a meaningless universe, it's that we get the chance to experience ourselves and the universe we share. The optimistic nihilist looks at a world lacking meaning and purpose and sees the opportunity to create their own meaning. Optimistic nihilism deals with the existential concept of the absurd. Human beings naturally seek meaning, but we live in a world with no innate meaning. We are tiny creatures that live only briefly compared to the universe, too epically large and old for our brains to comprehend. The friction between incongruous concepts like these creates a dilemma, the absurd. To resolve the absurd, optimistic nihilism advises us to accept it. It embraces the feeling of surrender. There are many things in life that we cannot control, and the optimistic nihilist is grateful for this. It narrows down what we must worry about. Since life has neither meaning nor purpose, you are free to assign it any meaning you want. Life is basically a huge white canvas, and you are the artist. You can choose how you want to paint the canvas of life. So that is why people tend to do whatever they believe, and as the new era of internet and short-lived trends, we can see that the society is moving towards a big nihilism boom in the next couple of years. So what do you think? Is there any meaning in life? Is there any morality? Does life have a meaning? Or is life just a tale told by an idiot with ups and downs and an ending with no significant meaning?